So Chicago's mayor is confident the security plan that's in place for the Democratic National Convention will go off without a hitch. Mayor Brandon Johnson says Chicago police working with the Secret Service to maintain a secure convention. He says the DNC will welcome protesters expressing their First Amendment right, and there would be a place for them to do that during the convention. They, in particular, are being prepared for pro-Palestinian protests who are likely to protest against the war in Gaza. Meanwhile, the main event tonight, the current president, Joe Biden, is the main speaker. Jill Biden will also take the stage. And don't forget, we have complete coverage of the DNC starting at 9 p.m. here on WIOD and WFLA.
So I think the big wild card this week is going to be what happens with these protests. Do they get out of control? Do they end up becoming violent? That is imagery that Democrats certainly do not want. Chicago has the largest Palestinian population of any city in the country. They're thinking there could be upwards of 100,000 protesters there. A big march happening today. I think 30, 40,000 expected for that. So question is, do these marches remain peaceful? Do we see people with Hamas flags and stuff, roaming the streets?
We will.
Yeah.
I mean, we already have in D.C. and places like that.
Not going to be a good look in Chicago. And if all of a sudden, stores and shops and restaurants start getting broken into and things get out of control, it's not going to be good for Democrats, and it's going to take away from what's happening at the actual convention itself. Tonight is, without a doubt, the most boring night of the convention. You've got Hillary Clinton, First Lady Jill Biden, and then President Biden all speaking. So it's like, let's get the least liked members of the Democratic Party out of the way on night number one.
I don't know if that's true. I think Biden's a lot more liked than he was when he was
he's
still
more
running.
liked now, but generally his favorability rating is pretty low.
I don't think there's going to be a lot of people that are like, I can't wait to hear what Biden has to say tonight. Let me tune in.
Yeah, it's more going to be like
stay up late to watch this.
Yeah, how does he make it on stage and off stage?
I think people will too. Democrats will be interested. Republicans, forget it.
I don't think there's going to be a whole lot of interest in what happens tonight. I don't know.
I mean, it is night one.
We'll see what the ratings are like.
Yeah,
it's night one. So
we'll see who else is going to be speaking. Like, I would not have Hillary Clinton speaking in a main prime time slot. I know there are complications.
Kind of like when they put the kooky people in the RNC earlier in the day.
Give her a 3 p.m. slot or something like that.
Nobody's there.
You've got a lot of Democrats who are up and comers who, if you're the party that you're trying to present as the party of the future, then you would want Andy Beshear, the governor of Kentucky, Josh Shapiro, Pennsylvania governor, Gretchen Whitmer, governor of Michigan, Jared Polis, governor of Colorado, Wes Moore, governor of Maryland, all these different figures. You would want to give them some of those prime slots. So you've got these fresh faces who are all pretty impressive at delivering speeches and things like that. It's not like they can't pull something like that off, as opposed to listening to Hillary Clinton say, I don't know what. And I wonder how long President Biden's speech will be. I would think short and sweet would probably be the way to go. And this is all coming to, as I think I saw earlier, I don't think this is necessarily that big of a deal, but I think a House committee said that he committed impeachable offenses.
Oh,
during
yeah,
his
I
time
just saw that. Yeah, they just
office.
Released a whole big list of reasons why he should be impeached.
Yeah. It's fascinating how that dropped
today.
Like
he's already kind of been impeached by his own party. They're like, not you.
Yeah.
Well, he's still in office.
I know he is, but they don't want him again.
Yeah. Now, I think
true.
he's going to get a big reception, though, because he stepped aside. I think you're right about that, Chris. In the convention center, they're going to be applauding him.
But I think you're right, too, that, they want younger faces on there. And you never know. Sometimes there is like a breakout speech that becomes a defining moment of the convention, like with Barack Obama back in the 2000s. Now, whether the group that's going to be showing up this week will do that remains to be seen. But, it's the first night, and obviously they have to give credit to Joe Biden and give him a slot. He's the president, right? I mean, he's still the head of the party.
Yeah.
And so, he's going to, have his say.
It's late for him,
That's true.
It's way past that window that he's most effective in, which I think is between like 2 p.m. and 4 p.m. or something like that.
Well, I don't know. He does get fired up for the speeches.
Yeah,
We're not quite sure how.
He does.
But it happens. I remember the State of the Union. He was fired up.
So. And then I believe Vice President Kamala Harris is going to join him on stage. If they're not right next, if there's a little bit of distance, it's not social distancing. It's because she is trying to distance herself from
Is she going to talk about
Biden.
all the stuff she talked about in her economic plan, about the high prices and stuff? Just stand right next to him and bring it up?
But
she's saving that for Thursday.
That'll be the passing of the torch tonight, and we'll see what else unfolds. Again, the theme is For the People. It's presented by Morgan and No, I'm just kidding. It should be, though. I mean, For the People is the theme of the night. Why not have him?
He probably threw in a few bucks.
I'm sure he
make
did.
it happen.
Yeah. And then you've got tomorrow night, Michelle Obama and former President Barack Obama, and also the second gentleman, less important than the Obamas. But, it'll be interesting to see what he has to say. I mean, if you're Doug Emhoff, do you want to go before? Well, you definitely don't want to go after Michelle Obama.
Yeah.
If I'm Barack Obama, I don't know that I want to go after Michelle Obama.
She should be last. She should just close the night. People like her more than they like him.
Yeah, people like her more than they like Kamala Harris.
Just be lucky to have a slot.
Yeah, and then you've got House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi on Wednesday. Then you've got Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg that night, former President Bill Clinton, and then, of course, Vice Presidential nominee Tim Walz. The Clinton speech, I think, is going to be very focused on the economy because say what you want about Bill Clinton, but nobody is able to communicate economic messages quite like him. He's very good at it.
Yeah, great speaker. I covered him many times when he came to Florida, back when, Florida was a swing state.
Yeah.
And these guys used to come here all the time. He's excellent as a speaker, and he does very well with connecting with regular people.
Right. And then finally, Vice President Kamala Harris, of course, will close things out on Thursday. What else we got going on this morning, Chris?
A white woman was convicted of manslaughter in the fatal shooting of a black neighbor after an ongoing dispute about children playing loudly outside her home in Marion County. The all-white jury in Ocala found 60-year-old Susan Lawrence guilty after 2.5 hours of deliberation.
Good.
She faces up to 30 years in prison. She claims self-defense when she fired a single shot with a .380 caliber handgun through her front door in June of last year, killing 35-year-old A.J. Owens, who was outside banging on her door, wanting to talk to her.
Yeah, this was a contentious relationship between two neighbors. And now, in reading about the confrontation, the woman who was killed, the mother of, I forget how many, she had, what was it, 4 or so kids or something like that?
I think she had 4 kids.
Yeah. She was a big woman. But again, the door was closed and it was locked. She hadn't broken through the door. So this idea that the neighbor was in such fear for her life that she had to fire a shot through the door and kill that mother in front of her kids. Give me a freaking break.
Yeah, it was ridiculous.
I was glad to see the jury came to, I think, the right decision here.
And knocking on a door
case.
loudly is not against the law.
No. All right, Chris Trenkmann with today's top stories. Chris, thanks so much.
Thank you.